Hey everyone! So I want to talk today about the elephant in the room that women don't like talking about, but we all think about: having a bulge. Having a bulge doesn't magically make you a man. Having a bulge doesn't negate your womanhood. A lot of us women still have our bits and pieces, and that's okay. So I think we really need to start changing the language and discourse around this issue and start normalizing it. Bye everyone! Hey everyone, so I'm out for a walk today at the park and I keep getting catcalled. I don't know if it's the dress or my makeup or if my hormones are finally kicking in, but people keep whistling at me. And so I get it. I really do. I get it now. I get why it's so hard to just do the little things and to just exist as a woman. So I'm gonna go home now. I'm probably not gonna come back out today. Hey everyone, I'm outside the DNC showing my support to Palestinians. I know if I was in their country, they would accept me with open arms, so I just want to do the same here. So I'll be here showing my support and talking. Bye everyone.
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Conservative Confucius here. Sorry for my hiatus the last few days. My dog, he passed away this Monday. My little guy you've seen a few times, a little chihuahua, the very quiet one. Very sweet. He passed away, he drowned. It was really awful. Our bigger dog somehow managed to get the door open while I was gone at Home Depot and getting the stuff for my forge that's out inside of the house. And when I got back, saw the door open and I knew it. I knew it right then. And my heart sank and I ran outside. I jumped in the pool. I was too late. It's been really hard for me. He's been with me since I was 19 years old. I'm 31 years old right now. I just turned 31. I turned 31 4 days before that happened. So it's been a pretty awful week, but you know, you got to see everything through. If you guys send your prayers for me, that'd be awesome. I really need it right now. But I wanted to do a video that livened me up. And there's stuff going on right now that's pretty interesting. So Josh Seiter, a man who faked being trans to troll the left and even the right a little bit. I called this a while ago. I said, this guy's got to be a troll. If he's not, it doesn't make any sense that he's pushing it. It's just so extreme. And some of the people on the left said it's a troll. It's not. A lot of people on the right didn't know what to think. Finally, he's come out and said, yes, it was a social experiment. So we're going to dive into that right now. We opened up with some of his ridiculous videos, as you can see. This is something that will liven me up a little bit, make me feel a little bit better, keep my mind off stuff. So don't forget to go down there. Please like that video. Hit the like on the video. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you ring the bell for notifications. Please do go down there and leave a comment for me. And if you like this video, please share it. Don't forget to go check out my Discord. And don't forget to go check out my merch store at www.streamlabs.com/conservativeconfucius/merch. And we'll dive right into it, guys. Let's get to it and do it. So this is Josh Seiter went on to Alex Stein, which he had done a few times and denied being a troll. And Alex didn't really know what to think at that point. He was like, okay, maybe they aren't. And finally, Josh came on in a suit, but in makeup, and had him wipe off the makeup. And then he went on to do this right here. This is right when he wiped off the makeup.
You want to know what's going on?
Yes.
Well, I got to be honest. For the last 5 months, I've been conducting a social experiment online to expose how gullible and how delusional the left is.
Give the people the honest truth. What is going on in your opinion, Josh? Are you transgender? Are you, what's going on?
Well, I'd love to, but first,
There you go.
I don't want to insult anybody. This makeup's terrible, so I need somebody to come fix it.
Jimmy, come here, Jimmy, right now. Hurry, Jimmy, hurry, run.
He always
we have
looks-
a limited time frame for this episode. Jimmy's gonna, he wipes down everything.
He always looked terrible when he was in makeup like that. It doesn't matter who did it. It just looks awful. Yeah, this is where he wipes it off and then moves on. So let's kind of get past this a little bit. There we go.
Well, I got to be honest. For the last 5 months, I've been conducting a social experiment online to expose how gullible and how delusional the left is.
Yeah.
We love it, Josh. And now I'm so happy that you came on this program and you're so gracious to fly all the way here from Chicago to come speak with us and talk about how insane the world is that you putting on a woman face, I guess is that the best way to describe it?
Yeah, woman face.
You were accepted by some, you were demonized by most.
And glorified by some too. Basically, what he was doing is he actually talks about this. He calls it, there's two names for it. I've always done it by reductio ad absurdum. So basically what that means is you're taking an argument to its logical absurd ending by showing people how absurd it is, how logically insane it is. And you're reducing it to that simple action of showing them the absurdness, the ridiculousness, to prove the point that this is not a logically sound argument. And it's also known as reducio, but it's also reductio. So either one works. Sounds like his Harry Potter spell or something, but it's a form of argumentation that means reducing something to its simplest and most easy form to prove its absurdness to the person who believes in this thing.
And now you're saying this was all a ruse, this was a social experiment, and I know you studied sociology. Didn't you major in sociology?
I did, yeah.
So what you did is arguably one of the greatest social experiments of our modern internet age, in my opinion.
He's also a lawyer.
That's why I really appreciate you coming on here and talking about the real truth. So this whole time, this has all been a stunt to try to expose the weird ideology of the transgender movement?
Well, I would say any biological man putting on woman face and putting on makeup is pulling a stunt. They are faking being a woman. And so what I did was I faked being a faker. I pretended to be a pretender. We are all the same. We're all men that were putting on makeup and dresses and claiming we were women. And I hope that this could help some people understand that just because you put on dresses and makeup as a man doesn't magically make you a woman.
And I think that's brilliant. So now, Josh, what is
I
next?
think this is also a perfect example of how someone who's in the prison system can do a similar thing to gain privileges and attention and things that they did not have previously, and use this as a manipulation tool to move through the world in a way that they seem gives them more privileges and opportunities based on their assumed identity. And you'll see this not just with trans people, but you'll see it with people who fake being gay or are gay and use it as a way to manipulate people. Or you'll see it with people who put on blackface or fake being black, basically. Let's put it that way. Like Sean King, who literally is considered a racial professor, almost a racial expert, even though the dude has not even an ounce of blackness in him. I don't go around wearing, because my hair isn't that curly. If I leave it, it curls, but it's not afro. So if I went and permed my hair into really tight curls and tanned myself as dark as I can go, which, by the way, Sean King is pale. He just has an odd skin tone. So it kind of gives him this look that maybe he's mixed. That's a way of manipulating your way through the system by assuming an identity that is not your own. Rachel Dolezal does the same thing, except for she uses fake tan and perms her hair. Sean King doesn't have curly hair. He just shaves his head really close or very short. So it looks like maybe, and then he roughs it up with a brush. If you rough your hair up, it'll almost look like if you grew it out further, it would kind of look curly. There's an actor, the one who plays Captain Cold in the Flash series, and he was in Prison Break. He has very little black in him, but his hair is kind of rough looking. And it's kind of a similar thing that Sean does. And it's a way of him, it's almost putting on his makeup. That's his thing. Instead of a trans person putting on makeup, he's roughing up his hair, trying to obscure his race as much as possible, talking in a specific way to make sure that validates who he's claiming to be. And then this allows him to make claims on anybody he wants, to say he's an expert on racism, to say he's experienced anti-black racism and all these other things because of this thing. And instead of just using his actual identity, or Rachel using her actual identity, they lied for years and years and years. Sean is still lying. Rachel got caught, and Sean did too, but he kept going after. He was like, no, that's That's not my dad. This is my dad. And he was a picture with some random black guy that doesn't know him and admitted to not knowing him. It's just insane that people think you can do this and somehow it's valid. I mean, and they say, oh, when it comes to race, it's crazy. It never happens. And no one would believe it. Really? Because there's dozens of people who do it and pass by it. Kamala Harris isn't black. Sean King isn't black. Rachel Dolezal isn't black. There's other people who claim to be other races. It's all a lie.
So I know you've been kind of brainstorming this. You've been incredibly viral. Should we go to the clips, Jimmy, or should we talk a little bit more? Because I feel like we should.
Well, do you want to play some of his best ones? My personal favorite was SOT 7 because it's kind of something. It was almost an extreme version of what you've done.
Yeah, let's play SOT 7. But this is going to be sad, Josh. This is bad news for me because some of your content is so funny. What are we going to do without this great content? Let's play SOT number 7.
Hey everyone. So I'm at Target doing some lingerie shopping. Well, I was trying to. And I'm thinking what everyone else is thinking. Where's all the tuck-friendly lingerie at? I feel like all women have a right to feel beautiful and seen when they're trying on clothes, and that just wasn't the case. And I feel like for those of us that were blessed in certain departments, it's especially important that we have clothes that fit our...
I don't think people understand women's clothes are not meant to fit even the smallest of men. For example, like when I was a teenager, I mean, I'm not, any, let's just say smaller down there than I was then, but it was so bad, literally, like everything was out. Like she was like, put on these underwear. And I was just joking around. I was a teenager and we were partying a lot. So I put on her panties and everything is out. Not even a piece of it could stay in there. It's just all hanging out on the leg. This is ridiculous. This is a grown man. And I was skinny back then. So at least the waist, it was kind of fitting. This is a grown man who's probably like a 36 waist. And he's trying on women's lingerie. Like, even if you were the smallest man alive, it might fit if you had really itty bitty little grapes and a little itty bitty sausage. But if you're average or above average, average people are going to struggle to get in there. Above average, it's just going to hang out. And anything bigger than above average, it's going to be impossible no matter how. It's just ridiculous. This is insane. You're asking for tuck-friendly lingerie. Would that be a separate section? Or would it be part of women's lingerie? Would it be all baggy and gross? Would they have to deal with extra fabric that's down there that doesn't form fit to their body because you want something? And I know this is all satire, but he isn't the only one saying this. There are people like Dylan Mulvaney and that other dude that's just like him and then a couple other people. They all preach this crap. So how insane is this to think that you need to dictate, you and your minority, not his minority. I get it, satire, but it's not even satire. It's trolling, really. And you and your minority of people should dictate the way everything is for women because you are an outlier of what you believe is women. Then that means everything should go around what you are. If women have, if you can't fit into a women's shirt should have broader shoulders. If you can't fit into women's underwear, they should have more fabric down there. If, they don't make big enough or correct sizes for your body, they need to change that. And instead of just giving you a separate section of your own for trans people or something, or just buying your clothes custom tailor made, because if you're going to splurge on clothes all the time on TikTok, you obviously have the money to pay for custom clothes and you could do that. But instead you go online and you complain and you say women's things need to change for me, who's not a woman. Like,
large appendages and that we just feel beautiful. So I hope one day we can have trans-friendly departments everywhere, including maternity and everywhere else. So that
trans-friendly departments, trans-friendly. Why not just trans departments? Why not just a section for trans people? Why not that? Why does it have to be trans-friendly? Why do all women's clothes have to be trans-friendly? That's just messing up their clothes so they can be trans-friendly. It's so stupid. Because when it's trans-friendly, it's women's unfriendly or woman unfriendly. It's just so stupid.
Shopping experience is a positive one, and we don't have to struggle to fit in. No pun intended. So, my 2 cents for today. Bye, everyone.
And Josh, I love that video because, you know, I put on the tuck-friendly bathing suit at Target
I
and went
remember
super
that.
viral. Now you're making content at Target. I'd have to say that you and I are like-minded. We realize how easy it is to push these people's buttons and how easy it is to show them how absurd they are. Like, I got one.
Well, thank you. I think any trans person is an incredible actor.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
all pretending to be something they're not.
Oh,
You
yeah.
mentioned showing the absurd. I use reductio ad absurdum, or sometimes called reductio ad absurdum.
See?
And it's a
Told
form
you.
of argument in logic which tries to disprove a proposition by showing that when you take it to its logical end, it leads to absurd and illogical results.
See? Told you.
And so
That's what I'm
that's
talking
really what
about.
I was doing, was showing that the whole idea of postmodern gender ideology is ridiculous and absurd.
Oh, yeah.
And I tried to be the most extreme version of it and take it to its logical end to show how ridiculous it is that people can actually believe that biological men are magically transformed into women because they are having a gender crisis.
I want to make a point clear. I don't have like any issue with people who are fully grown adults who do not push this as an ideology. If you want to act like a woman and be a woman and you don't care that other people do not see you that way, that is perfectly fine. If people do, that's cool. If people don't, that's cool. That's how it should be. Blair White is a good example. Buck Angel is a good example. Jeffree Star isn't trans, but I mean, like, if you called him a girl, it wouldn't matter. If you called him a guy, it wouldn't matter. He's identifies as a guy. He doesn't believe in all this gender ideology crap. Those are all fine. But if you force me to call you something, not only is that fascist, it's against everything this country stands for. And why should I change my lifestyle to fit your lifestyle when you wouldn't do the same for me? If I said, I believe in Christ and I want everyone, doesn't matter, they all need to do this. Or what if I told every Christian that they need to be specifically Messianic Jew and follow, and respect Jewish traditions? No, they don't have to. They can be themselves as long as they don't harm Jewish traditions or outright, be horrible to them. It doesn't matter. They can disrespect who they want. They can respect who they want, but they don't have to follow along with my way that I follow Jesus, or Jews don't have to follow the way that, Chabad Jews do, or other ultra-Orthodox Jews do, or Christians do, or Muslims do. No one has to do that. If Muslims forced the world to live by their views because they felt it was a infringement upon who they were as a person, and it would open them up to violence, then that would be wrong. It would be a form of fascism. It would be a form of Marxism. And we do not do that in this country. And the fact that their ideology is based upon the fact that you must adhere to this, or you are opening people up to violence, then that is not an okay ideology to have in this country. We are a free country that allows everyone to offend and be offended and not care, to not force someone to apologize, to not force someone to not say something. That is what makes this country great. And if we cannot have a country that believes that if you believe you're something that you're not, and someone else says, okay, that's fine, you can do you, I don't have to believe you. I don't have to affirm you. Just like you don't have to affirm that Christ is real, or that God is real, or that, there's absolute truth in the world. I don't have to affirm your beliefs that you think you're a woman, that gender is a social construct, that there are more than two sexes and all that crap. Just it's returning the same things. If you want me to do it for you, you have to do it for me, which infringes upon your own rights and your own free will. That is what's wrong with all of this.
So I hope I showed how ridiculous and absurd it is.
You did, and then you and I were talking about something on the phone. Is autogynephilia?
Yeah.
And that's just when, explain that, because a lot of people don't.
Autogynephilia is the belief, it's the sexual kink that you become aroused and get euphoria by viewing yourself as a woman and by other people viewing you as a woman, but not a woman with a, hoo-hoo, not a hoo-hoo, a, schlong, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't want to say those words because I don't want to get, any type of YouTube, stuff. So if you have, a schlong and you're saying you're trans, it's most likely that you're AGP, autogynephilia, AGP. That's what they call it. You can look up AGP on Reddit and find some disgusting things. And just go to Mary Kate Delvey on Twitter. I think it's Kate with a C. We've looked at her videos before. We did a whole video on her stuff. Most of the people that she talked about were AGPs, just masking themselves as trans. And it is truly like most of these men who do it late in life, these 25-year-old, 35-year-old, 45, 55, 65-year-old men who are transitioning, they're not trans. Like 95% of them are AGPs. They have a sexual kink where they're cross-dressers basically. And it's all about the sexual kink of being viewed as a woman and doing male-like things to a woman while while you're dressed as a woman and people are presuming you're a woman. It's all about that.
Also realized Josh got his law degree, got his undergrad in sociology and social and what, psychology?
Political science.
And political science.
Just mentioned autogynephilia, so I'll address that first and then I'll address the second part of your question. Autogynephilia is when men are turned on at the thought of themselves being women. And I think a lot of trans women are turned on at the thought of themselves being women. Guess what? It doesn't magically make them women. It doesn't mean we have to accept that they're women. They are simply men turned on at the thought of themselves being women. That's great. We live in a free country. You can do whatever you want, but don't make your fetish my truth. I don't have to accept it. To go to the second part of your question, how did I come up with this? I was talking with some friends and we said this is patently false. Men do not magically become women. I said let's look at the medical literature and what it says. It says that trans people don't have to transition, don't have to have gender dysphoria, don't have to get surgery, and don't have to get hormones. If they feel they are a different gender than their bio-sex, then they are trans and they are valid.
See, the problem is people in the gender community have turned the word man and woman into gendered words, but they're not. They're words describing sex. Yes, male and female is the scientific common word for what is our chromosomes, our blood, our DNA, our genitals are all based on. So that is our male, female scientific words. Then man, woman is the societal words used to describe those two sexes. That's why you have men's sports, women's sports, and they're not gender separate. They are separated by sex, which is something we've been saying for decades. Sex separated sports, sports separated by sex. Separate sex categories. We've said all those things. And yet now they want to put trans women in women's sports. And it's all that is trying to reclaim these words and say, no. Man and woman haven't been descriptors of male and female for societal use. They actually are gendered words. And they're the words that give other words gender. We say that's a man word. That's a man's word, or a male word. That's a female word. That's a woman's type word. That's these things. And you can't just invent new definitions and separate them from the history behind them to propagate an entirely new ideology that has popularized over the last 15 years and has been only around since the 70s. And it was created by pedos, literally. John Money, pedo. Alfred Kinsey, pedo. All these people were pedos, and they were known pedos with victims who ended themselves because of their trauma. We've gone over that. So it is insane to think that this man's experiment went so crazy wild. I mean, there were thousands of people who believed him. There were people who didn't. And the point is, you didn't see, other than a few people on the left, you didn't see any of the really woke left call him out. They applauded him, celebrated him. No one at the, Trans for Palestine rallies or, pro-Hamas rallies and protests, no one there said, no, you're a troll, get out of here. If I had seen, some dude screaming, ridiculous slogans and acting dumb and stupid because that's what he thinks Trump supporters are, or anything like that, I would have been like, get the hell out of here. Get out of here. You are not, like if someone dressed up and put a big nose on and, wore a freaking prayer shawl and, a Hasidic Jewish hat and had peyote, curly hair connected to a hat and said, "Oh, I'm Jewish," and spoke with a Yiddish accent and maybe a Yiddish New York accent and was saying, extremely racist things. "Oh, I dropped a penny. Oh, I should get the penny. Oh," and then maybe a, Hebrew accent or whatever accent. "Oh, I dropped a penny. Oh, whatever." Or, "Oh, do I smell latkes and gefilte fish? Oh, oh, I can smell money from here." No, what the hell? Are you kidding me? I would be like, "Hey, that's racist, bro. Take that shit off." Like Macklemore did on frickin' stage. That's racist. This is sexist. Not this, but people doing that shit. It's sexist. You cannot claim womanhood. You cannot claim to be, have, all these things that that are unique to women and not a trans woman can never experience. And yet they claim it and it's okay because they're on that side of the aisle. It's ridiculous, man. All righty, guys, that's going to be it for today. Don't forget to go down there, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. Make sure you guys do that, please. And don't forget to leave a comment down there, please. And if you like the video, please share it. And go check out my Discord and my store at streamlabs.com/conservative-confucius/merch. All righty, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. You guys have a good one. All right. Hoping you guys send me your prayers and, just pray for my little guy. We know he's in a better place. All righty, guys. You have a good one.